Yes, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning in. 8 o'clock, little after, you know what I'm saying? You're watching the Petty Sports Wednesday Night Edition, brought to you by Kingz Broadcasting Studios. I'm Mike Bell, baby. Got my girl Lele over here. FamousFeez.
Yes, sir.
And brother Banks on the end, bringing up the rear. You know what I'm saying? We got a special guest in the house tonight, Mr. Jansen on deck. You know what I'm saying? He gonna join us for a little spell to talk about his Jets. But share the show. We all over the place.
Yes, sir.
YouTube. You can go see the link on Facebook, or if you're following the link on Facebook, share the show so they can click over to YouTube and follow us and watch the show right over there. Go to Simple Radio, type in the Pulse 880. Listen to us on the internet radio station. Share. We love when you guys share the show. We trying to go viral. We trying to go digital every second, any minute. You know what I'm saying? But we need you guys' help. Without no you, there is no us. So we'll greatly appreciate it, man. Hey, thank you so much. And we love you guys. Hey, man, I'm going to pass it on down the line to the rest of the crew. You know what I mean? What's happening, Lele? Talk to the people.
Nothing much, y'all. Just, glad to be back here with my family. You know, I got my jersey on because we won the other day. So, yeah.
Again? They won again? All right.
Yeah, I got to represent, so I'm feeling good today.
Yeah, that's right. It's real.
Okay. I ain't mad at it. You know, it's your boy FamousFeez. We in the house. Still celebrating this little blue victory. I told y'all I leave y'all boys alone if we can make Georgia blue. It may not have been actually confirmed, but it's blue enough for me.
That's right.
I ain't mad at it.
That's right.
Actually, I also want to say Happy Veterans Day to everybody. All of the folks in the services, like my man D. Beezy right here next to me. Got to shout out Pops. Definitely put his time in. Get all that love for y'all and everybody who participated in that blue wave. And before you come on there, it wasn't a blue wave. Shut up. It was a blue enough wave. What I need for everybody in Georgia to do is get back out on January the 5th for this runoff, because we need Ossoff and Warnock in this thing so they can get the Democrat majority seats. But we ain't gonna do politics today. We just had to make that little public service announcement. It's all G. D. Beezy, what's poppin'?
Oh boy, hell of a week. Glad to be back in this thing again, man. Yeah.
All good. It's all good.
Stay dry.
He said what? I'm gonna work out and I'm feeling all right.
Okay. That's what's happening, man.
You ready?
So you got to work out on. We got to get this boxing match in at some point. You be around here hitting this bag like you doing little spoofs or something.
Hey, well, we appreciate you coming through, man.
I'm trying.
Yeah, glad to have you on deck, man. And time to roll. Rock steady, baby.
All right, let's go. So as you all know, we have a lot to bring you tonight. So we're going to talk about the Saints and the Bucks. We're going to talk about the Pats and the Jets. Our very own Atlanta Falcons, everybody, our Dirty Birds. Oh my gosh, we have some college football action. The 7-0 Notre Dame fighting Irish over Clemson. We have to you our Petty Sports Fast 5. We got to bring that in. And also, we're going to bring in some NBA talk. And then last but not least, we have to finish with our NFL Week 10. Oh, we in Week 10 predictions. Wow, time going by fast.
Oh, it's moving.
Man. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so let's do this. So, Tom Brady and the Super Bowl hopeful Bucks got ran off the field by the New Orleans Saints.
Got ramrodded.
So, y'all, what happened Sunday night? Because it really seemed like AB and Tom Brady wasn't connecting. They weren't clicking, and that was embarrassing. So, what do you all think happened?
I mean, it was a lot of things that happened in that game. I mean, first and foremost, the Saints whooped their ass. We would just put that out there off top. It was ugly. It was really ugly. But when you start really digging into what actually took place in that game, the Saints came out with that textbook Brady game plan. They only rushed 4 down linemen and got plenty of pressure on him. 9 QB hits and 8 passes defended. I mean, they were smacking the balls down. They were knocking him down. They sacked him 3 times and then caught him for 3 crazy picks. But everyone... It's common knowledge around the NFL that if you're able to get pressure on Brady without blitzing and keeping everybody in the secondary and coverage, you can blanket his wide receivers and you'll give him hell all night. There's just very few teams we've ever seen with the personnel groupings to be able to do it. That's what the Giants used to do to him, and he could never actually get over the hump on him. It was very similar to what we saw there. I mean, then he had some extremely unfortunate happenings. I mean, between interception he threw on a deflected screen pass that a defensive lineman caught. It's like, wow, that's ugly. It's very unfortunate. I mean, hey, it happens. I mean, then AB cut his route off to get open, and Brady threw deep as he thought he was going to keep running. So that was a miscommunication. Then he threw another one on a 4th and 7 where nobody was open. He just kind of threw a jump ball up there and gave away a pick. But they were already down 31-0 at that point. I mean, he was like, whatever, like just get the ball out there and hope something good happens. And he kept throwing picks. So, I mean, on top of the fact that Brady had a bad game, the Saints had an awesome game plan. I mean, the Bucs only had 8 yards rushing on 5 attempts. I mean, they went 3 and out on the first 4 drives of the game and only had 5 rushing attempts for the game. I don't even know what this formula is. Like, you only rushed 5 times and Brady threw 38 passes. The Bucs didn't really get any plays in, and then gave up big plays when the defense was on the field. I mean, it was just collectively terrible. I mean, I don't think the Saints are as good as they look, nor the Bucs are as bad as they look. There's somewhere in between, but it's clear that the Saints are better. They beat them twice now. The Bucs had plenty of time to get it together, and they got destroyed the second time around at home.
So would you say it's a matter of teams using the formula, we're going to stop the run, make this aging quarterback beat us, blanket your receivers like you said, not give them enough time and put the pressure on a non-mobile quarterback like Brady? And regardless of how we look at it, we always singing his praises over the first couple of weeks. You know, when they came, after the first week they lost to New Orleans, but you know, the games they've had subsequently since then, we've given them the props and said, hey man, they're looking great, continue to get better and better and better, adding AB, granted only a week and a half of practice. They're not going to be on the same page, right? No. That option route you spoke of, AB read one thing, Brady read another thing. They'll get that worked out. Two professionals won't have that happen again, right?
Hopefully.
But the problem is he looked like a mere mortal. And so then you bring back the question of, is it age? Is it a system? Is it a scheme? You got Bruce Arians came out of halftime and say, hey, Tom Brady made some dumbass decisions with the ball. We got to do better. How does that relationship continue to get better? How do you continue to build on that? And are they world beaters? The Saints came out and just really hit him in the damn mouth. And that vaulted Tampa Bay defense, you know, shit, at the end of the game, nothing you could really do. You know, there's nothing you could do. And once they got that train rolling downhill with no brakes on it, man, it was a problem.
Yeah, I mean, the offensive play calling for the Saints was masterful, too. Yeah. They took advantage. Like, they know Drew Brees can't push the ball downfield, so they gave you a little bit of Taysom Hill.
A lot of Taysom Hill.
Gave you nice dosages of the run, switching it up with the pass. Their drives were methodical. I mean, like, the play calling, the whole game plan was perfect. I mean, they came and just destroyed the Bucs.
Let me ask you this now. With the, I think Taysom came in. I think he threw 2 passes or 28 yards or something. Whatever the case may be, right? But they used him in that wildcat formation. He caught a couple of passes, this, that, and the third. Is he just a gimmicky guy, or is he a legit bona fide replacement for Drew Brees? Now, the Saints fans are going to say, oh, look what Taysom Hill did against the Bucs and yada, 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 this, that, and the third. But is he a 16-game starting quarterback in this league? Is he capable of maintaining that?
I mean, we haven't even seen him start one game.
Right.
We got to see more out of him.
He's good for a play or two. Like, I mean, at quarterback, he only threw 2 balls. He gets in there and he runs, and then he'll get hands-offs, and then he may catch a few passes. I mean, he does some of everything, but he's not a quarterback for real, for real.
Made a tackle on special teams. I agree with you.
They could bring Jameis in as the starter and continue to use Taysom the same way they've been using him.
Right. Okay.
That would be a much more logical way to service him.
They're just the offensive coordinator being creative in how they utilize their athlete.
Yeah.
I agree. Okay, I agree with you on that. I just wanted to make sure, because, you know, you get this stuff in the national media, Taysom Hill, and it's like, dude, listen, really? He's a gimmick guy. And that's what he is. Now, as soon as defensive coordinators realize he's going to be the guy taking snaps, 16 games, that shit shuts down. Down.
Yeah, listen, hey, y'all can't talk about the Falcons no more. I'm just saying, because I think
you said it
no more.
Listen, because Brady, I think he threw about 3 interceptions. Yeah. It's a lot that went wrong with this game, because I felt like the line didn't really do a good job protecting him, and then I feel like they could have played more zone defense. And then also, I mean, I don't know. It's just like you all said, it was miscommunication from Tom Brady to AB. Like, it was obvious. So
Gronk dropped the touchdown pass. I mean, it's a lot of stuff that was uncharacteristic of this team and the professionals they have on the team, right? So we understand that, and it happened. Week 9 in the league.
You never would have been able to tell me in a million years that we would have watched the Bucks team with that much firepower and looked at it and be like, they wideouts can't get open.
Right.
Like, what's going on?
Exactly.
Right.
Like, these dudes was blanket covered the whole game.
Hey, Lattimore was in Evans' head the whole damn game. He played a hell of a game too, man. So, and you shout out to the Saints defense, and like you said, their entire game plan coming in was to put the game in Brady's hand. We're going to shut down the running attack and make these guys beat us on the ground and not Brady. And we're going to stack the box. We talked about it last year when Brady was announced he was going to the Bucks. We talked about the NFC South brings pressure to quarterbacks. And getting hit in this league is a whole lot different. You look at some of the quarterbacks and from Jameis Winston to Matt Ryan, led the league in sacks over the last 2 years, in the league, not just, individual sacks. Brady is not a mobile guy at all, so they're going to hit him. And he got hit more in this game. He's probably got hit since the Super Bowl when the Falcons put a lot of pressure on him and subsequently blew that lead. We're not going to talk about that, though. But
You brought it up.
yeah, I know, I did. But that was the game plan, though, right? You bring pressure up the middle, force him out on the edges, blanket your receivers, minimize the time that they have to get off into their route, and make him have to make a quick decision with that. And they did that. Stop the run. We're going to put pressure up the middle, and let's put hands on him.
Yeah, and they weren't blitzing.
Yeah,
they were getting pressure on them with their front four.
Yes.
So you agree with them, cuz?
Well, I'll say one thing. I agree with Feez in the fact that I don't think anybody expected to turn on that game and see the performance that was put forth by Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I think going in, we probably said last week we didn't know how effective Antonio Brown would be. That was the only thing that we had questions about. But to get totally shut out and not have a touchdown, that was just like, whoa. I know a lot of people lost big money on that game. They had to. I couldn't believe it. I don't know what it was. It just seemed like they may have had the playbook or something over there, the way those guys were just, they couldn't get anything going. Like,
it was sad to
Sound
watch.
like Lamar Jackson.
Well, exactly. You know what I'm saying? Like, so that's just how it looked. Like, I was totally in awe. Man.
Your boy Brady.
World Bizarro. It looked like World Bizarro. That's all I can say, man. I don't have a whole lot to say about it, but I thought by now, with New Orleans coming into Tampa Bay, that was just like a sure win for those guys, especially with Brady wanting to get some revenge for what they did to them earlier in the season. It just didn't pan out that way.
And Drew Brees historically is not that great of a quarterback on the road, playing on natural turf as well. So to come out and do that, outside of New Orleans, man, was huge for them as well, man. So, leads it to our next topic, I guess, right?
Okay, yeah. So, shoot, are the Saints the favorites to now win the NFC?
I mean, you pretty much have to put them in there. I mean, they're number one in the NFC right now, sitting at 6-2.
Sitting pretty.
I mean, they did lose to Green Bay. They didn't get run off the field, but that same Green Bay team got boat raced by Tampa Bay that they just blew out. So it's kind of one of those, like, pick your poison any given Sunday type things, like which team shows up, where they play. But, I mean, if you look at their next 5 games, they got the Falcons at home. They go to Denver. Then they come to Atlanta. They got Philly and then Kansas City. So, I mean, of those 5 games they got going, you figure they'll win at least 3 of them. It seems they usually split with Atlanta, but if their defense plays the way they played against the Bucks, then you couldn't really fathom Atlanta, Denver, or Philly beating them. And Kansas City is going to have a hell of a time with them if their defense is able to play like that.
I think Atlanta beats them. I think Atlanta beats them.
Same for me.
At least split with them, right? And that's just that enigma of a team that we got here. But we'll talk about that a little later on. Yeah, I think they're the front runner. Seattle's defense is suspect, right?
Beyond suspect.
Green Bay got by them, but it depends on where they play them at again. If they meet them in the playoff, they play at Lambeau. Obviously, the advantage goes to Aaron Rodgers and that crew. But if they play in the Dome, shit's gonna be hard pressed to tell you unless you're Minnesota, right? Unless you're Minnesota, it's gonna be hard pressed to go into New Orleans and beat Drew Brees them at home. So, it's a toss up. But right now, like Fee said, they're sitting real damn pretty, man. They're sitting real damn pretty.
Yep.
If their defense is able to replicate that performance in January, nobody's gonna beat them.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, they look sharp. I know right now they at least look like they're coming out of the NFC South for sure. If they can keep up this pace, they stand a damn good chance. I don't know if Green Bay's defense will sustain and play that well. I think Green Bay is almost like a mirror image of New Orleans.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So they go only as far as their quarterback will take them. And some games, you know, Green Bay might fall off. They have brain farts like Tampa Bay just did Sunday. I forget which game that was earlier this season where you just looking like, whoa, what happened to Green Bay? I forgot who they played and had that really bad loss to.
Was it a week ago or two?
Well, just any given Sunday, man.
Yeah, exactly.
Green Bay, that was Tampa Bay to beat it.
Yeah.
Was that Tampa?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, 38-10.
Exactly. So I think the NFC is probably still wide open. Seattle will most definitely be in the mix. But if they can't find anything on defense to get them over the hump and sustain what they're doing as far as putting up points on the board, that's going to be a problem. But let me let the people out there in www.land know what's going on here. YouTube is having some issues with uploading our stream, but you can go to Twitch and on the link that we have on the page through Boxcast.
They have to click on the picture. Don't click on the link.
Yeah, click on we just edited it, so it'll disappear here shortly. But you can click on the picture or the Boxcast link and watch us there and share the show all the same. So we apologize for the inconvenience, but you know, we got the internet radio station, we got Boxcast, and we have Twitch. So you know, you can still get at us on that. All right? Yeah,
Most definitely. All right. Well, moving right along.
Hold on, you got anything, Jansen?
I was going. Oh, he got.
Anything about what's going on over here, man?
Yeah, I think the Bucks a little bit. I can't see you guys. Hopefully, you guys can see me. I think the Bucks. You know, it's just one game. I think they got caught slipping. I don't know if right now if I want to consider the Saints a Super Bowl contender, but definitely the favorite in the NFC South. But I think the Bucks will get things together.
All right.
Okay. All right. Well,
You didn't want to go in and take shots at Feez for New England losing. I mean,
we talking about New England next, but we didn't lose.
I mean, I was talking. I meant this. I get Tom Brady still confused with New England.
That ain't got nothing to do with me.
Oh gosh! See, y'all see this?
Do you see this hat?
See this? How can we not
Brady
see
don't
it?
play there no more.
Yeah. So you with the Bucks getting run off the field, and you didn't have anything on that one.
Not much. It's one game. And again, Fee's a Patriot guy. I don't associate him with the Bucks or all these Patriot people wanting to go with the Bucks and try to like minimize what's going on with the Patriots this season. So I get it. He's a Patriot.
True that. That's right. You know, sometimes it's hard to tell though. I just
It's actually not. It's just you. That's why Jansen didn't take the bait.
take shots whenever you can at this guy.
He didn't take the bait.
That's why he was like, I'm gonna save it for the next time.
Well, the Jets is his team, so I guess he don't have a whole lot of room
to say about this. What time
So
is it?
we're going to get right on into these Jets, but we got up first, it's 8:24.
First and foremost.
We're going to pay homage to the late, great Kobe Bean.
Yes,
Count them down for us, Beezy.
3, 2, 1.
Kobe! Rest in peace.
Rest in power, my brethren. Every week right here on Petty Sports at 8:24, we pay homage to our guy, Kobe Bean Bryant, and what he did for the game and entertaining us, man. So big shouts out to him and his family. Hey.
Much love, much love, much love.
Yes, sir.
Alrighty, well, since we're talking about the Patriots, so the Patriots snapped a 4-game losing streak with the win over the Jets off the foot of a former Jets kicker, Nick Folk. So we actually have Jansen that's, of course, zoomed in with us, and he's going to discuss that. So did Cam Newton's and offensive coordinator Josh McDaniels finally figure out the winning mix?
I don't know if we can say they figured out the winning mix. It was kind of weird if you actually look at the way that game flowed. I mean, Cam had a very good game. I mean, he was 27 for 35, 274 yards. He didn't throw any touchdowns, but he ran for 2. I mean, he made good decisions with the ball. A couple of times, I mean, he fumbled one on a 4th down, and he fell on a 3rd down run. So, I mean, I had like a little mini heart attack on both plays watching the game because I really just didn't feel like I should have been worried about the Jets like that. But if we look at what he was working with, you know that man is the first player in history to complete 18 passes to undrafted wide receivers.
Word?
He's throwing the ball.
Oh, no, I said word.
Yeah, like the dude is throwing the ball to Jacoby Myers and Demir Bird. And Gunnar Ozlowski, or however you say this dude's name, the little guy. None of the players out there are drafted. He just got a bunch of nobodies out there running around like, they catch the ball and want to run backwards. Like, you are not that kind of athlete. Fall forward and get what you can get. It's painful to watch. But, I mean, if you break the thing all the way down, it's amazing that they won the game by 3 points. The New England ran 76 plays to the Jets 44. You ran 32 more plays than the other team, had over 100 yards more, but you only had one drive more. New England had the ball 9 times to the Jets 8, and that proved to be the difference in the game. New England had no turnovers to the Jets 1 and had the ball for 37 minutes to the Jets 23. All of those things say New England should have won the game comfortably. If you look at any game stat line like that, there's no way that game came down to a 51-yard field goal from an unreliable kicker. I was not convinced he was going to make the kick. I didn't even want to watch it because the dude just ain't that good. I mean, the defense really has to get it together. Cam played well enough for them to have comfortably won that game. The defense stopped nothing. The Jets didn't even run that many plays. They just weren't stopping them. When they would, whatever they felt like doing, it was working. Like Perryman and Flacco all of a sudden turned into a thing against what we thought was one of the best secondaries in football. It's ridiculous. I don't know, man. I mean, you know, they say the Jets, JETS stands for just in the season. That's what they tell me. At 0-9, I don't know. Is that how y'all feel?
How y'all feel?
So
Is it my turn?
It's your
your
turn.
turn,
Yeah, it's your
Jansen.
turn.
Well, you know, first my thoughts on the game. It was a little bit shocking, but I love seeing Flacco turn the clock back a little bit, and Perriman, like you said, they connected on some big plays. So as a Jets fan, it was great to see. Even Frank Gore getting some carries, having some success. It was an exciting game. I knew it would be a little bit close because of division rivals and everything like that. But a couple things that stood out to me was this. Cam Newton, I thought, on paper, the stats, he looked okay. But he overthrew a couple balls. I would have liked to see him throw a little bit more accurately. The Patriots receiving core, kind of like what you said, they're terrible, man. They're not putting much around Cam Newton. And if I'm the Jets, what's the takeaway from this game? Well, a lot of Jet fans, was looking on Facebook and Twitter at the time, when the Jets were up by 10, they were calling for the Jets to lose this game. A lot of people are pleased in New York that the Jets are 0-9. You know, I would like to win, but I'm on that bandwagon of tank for Trevor and potentially Bill Belichick. I could see Bill Belichick leaving, potentially coming to a team like the Jets with a franchise quarterback with Trevor Lawrence. I know it's predicting the future a little bit, but I don't see a future with him with the Patriots. So if you're a Jets fan, you're kind of happy. You continue the tanking. It's 0-9. This was our opportunity to win, and it didn't happen.
You think Bill would leave?
Wow. And
Absolutely.
Man,
why would he, Jansen?
Because if you look at the team right now, the Patriots 3-5, they're not going to be in the playoffs, not going to win the division. The Bills are looking real good. The offense is terrible. Cam, for the most part, he has his flashes, but he doesn't really look that good. Even against the Jets yesterday, I'm telling you, even when the Patriots receivers were getting separation, he's not that accurate of a quarterback anymore.
He's never been. He's never been a deep ball guy. His career 60-something%, if that high completion rate. And of the 7, how many games he played? Is it 6 or 7? He missed 2 games?
No, he only missed one.
All right, so 7 games he's played this year,
game.
right? He's only had 2 games over 200 yards passing.
That's terrible.
Cam is he's a game manager. If I could drop that.
But I do blame Belichick more than for the losing. I blame Belichick more than Cam Newton. He put him in this situation. I think they should have done a little bit more in free agency, at the wide receiver position, bringing some real talent, some real deep threats. But maybe he expected more from Cam Newton. But back to the game last night, I was shocked. I ain't gonna lie. Joe Flacco throwing a couple touchdown passes.
I don't see any way Bill Belichick leaves. I mean, even if the Jets get Trevor Lawrence, who the hell is he throwing the ball to? You have just as many problems over there. Y'all don't have any wide receivers, and your defense isn't good.
Most of them are undrafted too.
So, like New England still has viable pieces on defense. If he gets wide receivers to come in, Cam can still be a serviceable option. I mean, even sitting at 3-5, they easily could have won the game against Seattle. Could have won against Kansas City. I mean, I don't know what the hell that was against Denver. The Buffalo game came down to a Cam fumble in the red zone inside the 10-yard line on the last drive of the game. So it's like it's been a lot of misfortune and all types of other things. Cam has been playing okay since he got COVID and came back. We don't really know just how deep the after effects of actually getting that are. He's the only NFL quarterback that's had it and come back and played. I mean, we'll actually we'll see that on Saturday, see what Trevor Lawrence looks like when Clemson plays on Saturday. We saw Russell Westbrook come into the bubble after he got COVID and look like a shell of himself.
Yeah, but here's the thing, though, right? Even before that, and I get the COVID situation, right? And I understand it takes your body time to come back from a world-class athlete. But he wasn't great before COVID. He wasn't
playing very well the first 3 weeks.
He wasn't anything special about Cam going into anything. You got a starting quarterback in the NFL and you can't get 200 yards passing. What does that tell you?
He only threw for 3,800 yards the year he won MVP. He's never been a big yards guy.
Yeah, but in this NFL with no name wide receivers, and you want to say that and this, that, you expect more out of your quarterback. And you got to have a quarterback that can throw more than 200 yards. That's all I'm saying. Well, he had a breakout game against Seattle, but other than that, man, he's been pedestrian at best.
Look, I'm not saying Cam is done. I don't want to disrespect him. I don't know what the future looks like for him, but we know what's coming with Trevor Lawrence. Let's not pretend like he's not one of the best prospects out here in the last 20 years. He's going to change the Jets around. If the Jets can not mess this up and get the first pick and draft Trevor Lawrence, he's the quarterback of the future. And if I'm Bill Belichick, look, why not attach your name to that quarterback? We don't know what the future's like for Cam Newton. This isn't 2015 or 16. Trevor Lawrence, yes, the Jets don't have many options, but they're in complete tank mode. When you look at the moves they made, trading their best players, cutting them, whatever, the roster is built for the future. They're going to try to build towards the future, and it starts with your quarterback. I don't even think Sam Darnold's a bad player. I think he could be a pretty good quarterback. I actually like Sam Darnold, but he has no weapons. It doesn't seem like they're fully going to commit to him. But Trevor Lawrence, I think he's a can't-miss prospect.
But
he's a guy 5 to 10 years from now will probably win multiple Super Bowls. Let me ask you this.
And I like what you're saying.
No, it's not my team. I have faith in Trevor Lawrence. It is a quarterback league.
Okay, gotcha.
If they just draft him, that's all they have to do is draft him.
Okay.
That's all they have to do.
So, Jansen, to your point, right, all they have to do is draft him. What if Trevor Lawrence pulled the Eli and be like, hey, man, I ain't going to the goddamn Jets?
Here's the thing about the Eli thing. Eli didn't want to go to the Chargers. That's understandable. He didn't want to go to San Diego. He wanted to go where? New York, big market. Trevor Lawrence, great in New York, big market player. Now, this has nothing to do with the Jets.
It does. It has all to do with the Jets.
No, what I'm saying is this. I'm talking about the markets. We see New York and people of New York disappointed when the whole Zion thing, I know it's the NBA, but the Zion thing didn't work out. Now you got your next superstar in New York, Trevor Lawrence. Very marketable player, nice guy. He's a leader. You see it at Clemson. When he's out the game, you see what happens with Clemson, right? They don't function on offense. He's a complete package. He will not pull that off in a New York market like that. He'll come play for the Jets. Where else you want to go?
With all due respect, Jansen, when people talk about the New York sports market, it's the Knicks and the Giants. It ain't the damn Jets.
No,
it ain't the Jets. It ain't Buffalo.
Right.
It ain't Buffalo.
And it ain't the Jets or the Mets
either.
Nah,
so
they the bottom.
And the Yankees, they talk about those teams. They're not talking about the Jets. Oh, you want to go to a big time New York sports market? Go to the Jets. Go to the Mets. No.
The Jets still have a loyal fan base.
Well,
so does Cleveland.
There's a bunch
You got
of Jet
to say,
fans.
And nobody wants to go to Cleveland.
And I
Whoa, we're not Cleveland. We won a Super Bowl.
Y'all
Okay.
get
Okay.
this man started. Y'all get this man started. Go ahead, Mike.
We're not Cleveland. That's
well,
what
I tell you what, Jansen, I hope it works out the way you say it is, but
Right.
I kind of
for
like
Trevor.
don't like the way you overlooking Justin Fields. Justin Fields could very well be the #1 draft pick this year.
I don't think he is. I think Justin Fields is great. Kirby
Okay.
Smart, that potentially should have lost him his job for Justin Fields not being in Georgia. It's
Right.
basically
True enough.
criminal
Yeah.
for letting
All
him,
that
for
backlash
letting
he got.
him, Georgia-grown talent, go to Ohio State. I'm
Not-
still pissed off about that.
not Georgia
Now we're losing to
grown.
Florida, Alabama all the time.
Not Georgia
Justin
grown.
Fields-
Georgia committed. Georgia suited. Georgia rostered. Transfer portal going to
okay.
Ohio State.
Okay.
That's when he should have gotten his ass
Using
fired.
them
Oh,
for
okay.
one gimmick play against
Yeah,
Bama, like
yeah.
an idiot.
that causes you to lose your damn job.
Now,
But I mean, to that whole point of
And
Georgia
that's
grown,
one of our
It's gonna be
fast
great
fives.
Trevor Lawrence is from Georgia too.
Yeah, so that's why I had to make the distinction
yeah.
that hey, he actually played, blew a damn red shirt playing for fucking Georgia. That's what I mean by that's what he should have gotten fired for. And that's not the fact that the homegrown talent got out of the state. He fucking suited up for you. He took classes at Georgia. He was on your roster, and you blew that pooch.
let me ask you guys
see what's
this.
going on with Ohio State's offense. You see what's going on with Georgia's offense.
Yes.
Yeah, he
Different
laughing.
stories.
He gonna laugh
But we
all the
know
way
what
to
it
the
is,
bank.
though.
with
I
that.
mean, we know that it's, I said it before in the show. Kirby is that old school adage. Nick Saban, quarterback doesn't
Thank
have
you.
to be my guy. I got to run and attack, and I got a defense. That's enough to win college football. And everybody's now showing you that's bullshit. But go ahead, Bill. What you got?
Back to Cam. Now,
Cam,
for his
Cam,
whole career, we've heard that his feetwork or feetwork is not what it should be. And once again in the game the other night, they pointed that out. Like, he throws most of the time with his feet side to side instead of one in front of the other. How much do you think that impacts his accuracy and him completing passes?
I think it does a lot. But so Cam has always been that one-off athlete, right? That my arm strength can overcome my mechanical flaws. It happens all the time. When you watch quarterbacks, they get better at these running quarterbacks, these mobile quarterbacks get better as they get older because they start to look at the mechanics of the game. The game slows down. I said it too. I said, I think the game will slow down for Cam, and he should be a much better player. But when your mechanics are still bad, your arm strength is not there, you can't overcome those things. Now, those tight windows, what you were feeding balls into and doing all that, yeah, you still got a strong arm, but you got to get your body behind you. You got to do these things.
Agreed.
So his lack of training or just willingness to break those habits are starting to cost you. And then it has always cost him as far as accuracy is concerned. Like, Cam is traditionally, this right as of right now, to Feez's point, right? He has the highest completion rating that he's had in his entire career as of right now going into week 10.
Yeah.
You know, so, but you still 200 yards, you're dinking and dunking and this, that, and the third. So if he doesn't correct those things, the arm strength is not going to always be there. You're not going to always be the athlete that you were, and so on and so forth. So you got to correct those things as well.
Yeah, I mean, that's true. Man, it's a lot of pressure on Cam, man. I feel bad. He got to get it together, but then just like you all said,
9 years in the league, you ain't feel bad for him.
what's true?
And Josh McDaniels isn't doing him any favors either with that play calling.
To your whole point of Bill Belichick leaving just for Trevor Lawrence, think that is ridiculous. New England has
Not giving up on Bill.
Well, look, New England has more cap space available for next season than any
course.
team in the league.
And next
They
season.
still have
And
a
next
very
season.
serviceable defense. There are pieces there with all that money available, and all the opt-outs are coming back. If he gets some weapons around any quarterback in there, he's got more to work with. You go to the Jets, you got Trevor Lawrence and what? Just Trevor? I mean, is he
Who
that
else would
good?
be? Yeah.
Just Trevor.
Last time I
I
checked,
think-
while he's
I
out at
think he's
Clemson, he
that
does
good.
have the best athletes in the entire country playing with him. Ain't none of them with the Jets. He's going to be working from scratch, not to mention he's going to have to play against a Buffalo team that's now found stride, has been good for the last couple of seasons. Miami is finding their whole ass all of a sudden, and now the Dolphins are good, and the Patriots will still have a very good defense and whatever they salvage over there. Leaving to go to the Jets, he might be last in the division. Bill ain't leaving
Yes,
not to go
maybe.
there.
Maybe
If he leaves, he
year
ain't going
one.
to the Jets.
maybe year one, but it's not a stretch to say that Trevor Lawrence might be the next Peyton Manning. He's that good. I'm telling you. Look at his mechanics. Look at everything he's able to do. The arm strength. He has the full package. If you get yourself that franchise quarterback, you can make things happen. You could rebuild teams.
Yeah, so it'll be Andrew Luck.
Trevor
One
Lawrence,
man show.
Trevor Lawrence is going to fall into the Jets' lap, and I think they'll build a team around him. Maybe not next season, but in the next 2 years to 3 years, the Jets should be pretty good, and he's going to be that type of quarterback who is going to win an MVP, potentially a couple Super Bowls. And it's not a stretch to say that. And
Jets are going to shoot that man's confidence.
Fields, I think he's going to be really good too, but he's not Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence is a can't-miss prospect.
Ooh.
And I think Bill Belichick knows that too.
I can't.
So him going to the
Trevor
Jets,
ain't used to losing.
Jansen, I don't necessarily know I'm going to go with a can't-miss prospect on any quarterback coming into the league. You know, I'm like you. I root for the kid because he's a Georgia product, right? But I hope he doesn't go the way of Alabama offensive linemen. And what I mean by that is Alabama offensive linemen are all world when they got 4- and 5-star guys to the right and left of them. They get to the league and they ain't got all that kind of talent. They get exposed a little bit. And that's what, and I hope that's not the case with Trevor Lawrence.
I don't think it is, man. He's a better quarterback than Deshaun Watson.
But we get a lot of comparisons. We get a lot of this about kids that come in and do it in college and in the college ranks and then get to the pros and the game catches up with them, right? And just the same thing we look at cats that they say are not going to be pro-style athletes or pro-style quarterbacks. They come in and blow it up. The Russell Wilsons, the Kyler Murrays, the kid out of Kansas City, the Mahomes, you know, cats like that. They say, he doesn't fit the mold of a pro-style quarterback, and they light it up. I hope he does, but to say he's a can't miss, I don't think anybody out here would say this is a can't miss product at quarterback at any point in time in the league anymore. No. You know, I
disagree.
To me, he's just the next.
I'd rather have a Trevor Lawrence than about 20 quarterbacks in the league right now.
He is just the next great white hope.
And he has to come in and prove himself. I mean, we see this every year with athletes at every position who are projected. We just saw it with Tack. Tack was supposed to be that guy coming in. I mean, like I said, every position is always a guy that was supposed to come in and be this high top-notch prospect, game-changer type play, and they fizzle out every year. They don't.
We're gonna see. We're gonna see. I don't see Trevor Lawrence being a bust. Whoever he goes to,
Drew Lock,
bless that team.
We'll see.
I don't know about Drew Lock or some of these guys who talk about. I think he's better than Kyler Murray, Baker Mayfield, some of these guys who recently came out. I think if he stays healthy, can't miss prospect.
All right. Well, you know what?
I don't think he'll be better than Burrows.
Well, shoot, we gonna talk about
Joe Burrow been balling. I mean, like it's a very the way Joe Burrow, Justin Herbert, and Tua Tagovailoa are playing right now. Yeah, they're raising the bar real high for the expectation of what Trevor Lawrence is gonna have to come in and do.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And he's gonna be coming into a team that has nothing around him.
Yep.
That's every first pick in the draft.
Yep.
No, those dudes actually have weapons. Joe Burrow has actually a little bit of juice out there with him in Cincy.
They don't have that much talent around.
They've got more talent than the Jets.
A little bit more.
Are they winless?
They weren't that good last season.
Are they winless?
A good football team.
We're not talking about last season. We're talking about right now.
They won. Yeah, because they have Joe Burrow. They had the first pick. That's why they got Joe Burrow.
Yeah, now all of a sudden Mixon looks good. They also drafted T. Higgins, another one of Trevor Lawrence's boys. You know, like primetime NFL prospects at wide receiver that played with him.
And they still
got AJ Green.
Whatever team Trevor Lawrence goes to, which is probably going to be the Jets, you're going to see them build around him. This is what happens. Bad teams get the first pick, things turn around. You've seen it with the Colts. They had bad teams. They got the first pick. Arizona, first pick. That's what happens in this league. All these quarterbacks go to bad teams.
You just throwing out just random names? Because Arizona,
gentlemen, we got to move along. We got to move right along.
Cleveland, you got Chicago. You got all the teams that got first pick and got bad quarterback.
They do.
Arizona went to the Super Bowl in 2008 and the NFC Championship game in 2015. What are you talking about?
95% of this guy plays came in the ACC.
Okay.
I'm going to leave you with that.
Okay. Well, basically, y'all done probably touched on the topics that we.
And he won a national championship too.
They did.
Okay, so
out fashion, and he was the reason why they won the national championship.
Man, y'all
to my guy Mike Bell point.
Y'all
What happened when he started losing?
Man. Y'all
What happened when he
Deshaun
started
Watson.
losing?
What, in the league?
Yes.
A lot of quarterbacks lose in year one. It's not a big deal. It's about building a team up.
Okay.
But it's also about being able to take those losses.
Yep, and I mean having that confidence remain with you because,
Yes.
like he stated earlier, he's coming from a 5-star situation where he has the best players in college football,
And he's the man.
Absolutely.
So when you go
Absolutely.
to a team like the Jets and that's not the case anymore, and you have to sit and wait for guys to build and grow with that team, does he have the fortitude and
Mental
mindset
toughness
to make it happen and stay tough?
And when those quote unquote New York newspapers start saying, was Trevor Lawrence a bust? Get him out of here. Sit his ass down. Can he bounce back? He didn't have Dabo and the Clemson faithful to deflect all that stuff.
That's right.
Just understand, it's a big boy league when you get over there.
The dude has only
Absolutely.
lost
He'll
one
be dealing
game
with
in
some
his
of the same
career.
stuff outside of
Since
the
high
media and
school.
Joe Burrow.
Since high
One
school.
loss, and that was in a national championship game to arguably the greatest college football
Since
team of
his
all
ninth
time.
grade year.
Ooh.
It's tough.
Yeah, it is.
Every team in the NFL is 2019 LSU.
Oh.
Boom, boom, boom.
Well, back to the Patriots. Well, is it possible for the Patriots to turn around their season?
Hell no.
They're
They're
around
done.
in the second half of the season. I'm sorry.
Well, it depends on what you
Season's
consider
over.
turning it around to be. Turning it around to make the
Being in-
playoffs, no, that won't happen. They can turn it around into a positive note to at least in the season, winning some games with Cam looking better and building something for next season with all the cap space and all the players coming back off the opt-outs and actually picking up some viable weapons on the outside. So there can be a positive. I mean, sitting at 3-5 right now, if they're able to finish even at 7-9, that would be 4-4 for the last 8 games. That would not be bad. That possibly could be enough, depending on how well Cam plays, for him to actually get an extension. It won't be a big money extension, and that's one thing that might be one of the things that keep him in New England is they don't have to pay a lot for him.
Give me the
Well-
4 games you think they can win. They got New York their last game of the season, but give me the other
Yeah.
3.
So they go through the Jets, the Chargers. They possibly, I think they could beat Houston.
Okay.
It depends on what Rams team shows up. They don't play every week. Same with Miami. I mean, they usually lose at Miami. I mean, that even happens when they're good.
With Brady, right?
So, I mean, it's almost a foregone conclusion that they'll lose when they go to South Beach. But, I mean, I could see them coming out on Sunday and winning a pride game over a reeling Baltimore team who is not looking hot right now.
Yeah, and you had your boy Lamar just call out. The OC said that the play calling is it's pretty bad, and the defenses know what they're
Right.
playing. They're going to run before they run it. So yeah. All right, I get it. I just wanted to hear your input on that.
Okay. Well,
That could happen.
It can happen.
YouTube is back up and running, ladies and
I'm all
gentlemen.
for it.
Hey, okay. YouTube is backing up, people.
I like what you said. It
Yes,
can happen.
sir. It's working for us now. All right, then. Well, shoot. We're going to go ahead and turn it over to Mike B with our sponsors.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining the Wednesday night edition of Petty Sports Show tonight. All brought to you by Kingz Broadcasting Studios. We greatly appreciate you guys tuning in and joining us tonight. Me, Mike Bell, baby, Lele, FamousFeez, Banks on the end, and our special guest, Jansen. You know what I'm saying? So share the show. We're back on all the platforms right now. You can go on YouTube, Twitch, and hit that Boxcast link. If you want to chat with us, of course, you want to go to YouTube. And call in. We have a no name. Sorry about that. We have a Petty Sports hotline at 678
871
9602.
678-871-9602. That's how you can be a part of the show. What say you, ladies and gentlemen? We love to hear from you. So share the show, share the link. Help us go viral. You know what I'm saying? So don't keep all this pettiness to yourself. All right?
Speak up. We want to hear what y'all got to say.
Yeah.
I see little Bobby Christina jumped in on your last 4 digits there.
Oh, my God. Man.
The flavor
you know what?
rich
They
up
knocking
in
on me
here.
all week.
Hey, Bobby
All
Christina.
week. All
That's
week.
your new name. Come on, Bobby Christina.
Like, oh, my God. I don't even know what to say.
There's not much you can say.
You're right. I need some backup, but it's okay. All right.
You want to call your boo? Get your boo to call in.
I can't,
Call your boo. Add your boo to call in.
Which one?
One from the gun range.
He older than me. I don't know. that. Oh. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, back to our scheduled program. So we're going to talk about our very own Atlanta Falcons. That's why I got my jersey on today.
Yeah.
So the Atlanta Falcons celebrate back-to-back victories for the first time this season under interim head coach Raheem Morris. So what's the realistic expectation in the final 7 games with 2 matchups against both the Saints and Bucks, along with the rest of the AFC West? So what's our realistic expectation, you all, with these last games we have?
Well, for me,
okay, go ahead.
for me, if they don't win out, why it wasn't worth it. You know what I'm saying?
Win out?
That's the scenario you're in my brain.
Realistic.
Well, I'm just saying, like, that's a realistic thing. You
That's
know what
fantasy.
I'm saying? Okay, well, I mean, you know what I'm saying? They got to play every Sunday and line up. It ain't played on paper. So they have a chance if they come out there and line up every week to win. So if they win out, I won't be so mad.
Have you seen the schedule?
Yeah, I seen the schedule, man.
So then how are you talking about win out? You've got to have the hardest remaining schedule left in football. If
Okay.
not, it's got to be like number 2 or number 3.
Any given Sunday, good sir, if you show up and play, you can win.
If you were that good, you'd be in a position to be a Super Bowl contender.
Well, Raheem Morris right now is sitting at 3-1, so clearly he's able to reach these guys in a way that DQ wasn't. And we just have to wait and see how this pans out. He's making a good case for himself to potentially be the official new head coach moving into next season.
Looking good, y'all.
Only one of those teams had winning records. Let's just keep it funky now. 3-1 is nice. Like, they should actually have won all 4 of them had not Todd Gurley, not that ignorance and falling in the end zone and scoring. But not to harp on that, just the 4 teams that you beat. It was Minnesota, Detroit, Carolina, and Denver. Carolina's the only one with even a winning record.
Well, if you win the games you're supposed to win, that builds confidence and where you can be more competitive with the teams that you're probably not supposed to beat. Tampa Bay, they're dropping games. You know, they have brain farts. You catch them on any given Sunday, you can win.
Even with AB
the
on
games
the team,
against New Orleans, that's always a battle royal. You know what I'm saying? So clearly we want to finish strong in the division.
Well, look, you got the Saints twice, the Bucks twice, the Raiders, the Chargers, and the Chiefs. There's no way in hell you talking about running that table.
Well,
I don't care who we were talking about.
As it may sound, it can be done.
There's not a team in the NFL I would pick to win all 7 of those games.
Right.
It could be done.
So here it is, right?
All right, Dwight. Falcons.
So when you look at the games we lost in fees, you know, he has a valid point, right? We beat teams that, you know, outside of, one team got a winning record. But here's the thing, though, right? You lost to Seattle. We talk about you should have lost that. The Cowboys game, albeit they suck as well, we lost by a point. Bears, we lost by 4 points, should have won that game. Green Bay, 30-16, we got spanked. The Carolina game, 7 again, we lost by. Lions, by 1 point. These are games that are all beatable games. So when you say if we were that good, we wouldn't be at this point. We'd be competing for a playoff spot and so on. We are that good. I think what it comes down to is the fact that coaching failed us down the stretch doing all those things. When you got 5-star athletes and 5-star athletes, good tier, it comes down to scheming, coaching, and putting players in the right position to do so. Those close games that we lost, we should have won those games. Games that we were ahead in the fourth quarter, we should have won those games with proper clock management,
right?
Proper play calling, and so on and so forth. What Raheem Morris has shown us this, albeit except for the Lions game, right? That he's not making those mistakes. He's going to put these guys in position, and he's going to listen to the coaching staff. We're going to make sure that we try to win and close out these games. If these games come to be close games down the stretch, the New Orleans games are going to be tight games regardless of who ends up winning. The Tampa Bay game is going to be a close game regardless of who wins the game because they're divisional rivals. Those are going to be deciding games. If you split 1-1 with those cats, man, I'm happy with you going out of that because you didn't get swept by either one of them. Is it possible that you can get swept? Yes, and it's possible that we can sweep one or two of those games, one or two of those teams, right? I don't see us making the playoffs. I think that's a foregone conclusion. But I also want to see it from the standpoint of a Raheem Morris, that he puts together a campaign that gives him a realistic shot at the interview. They're going to interview him regardless, right? Mm-hmm. But I think if you come out and you beat your division rivals, you do what you got to do, and you put up some impressive numbers. So right now they're sitting at 3-6 9 games into this shit, you could end up, and again, to Feez's point, right? If you can win 7 games out of it, 4 out of your last 6, 4 out of your last 7, you win that, man. You got yourself a seat at the table. If I'm Arthur Blank and Rich McKay, that he is the guy. But now we'll talk about, what we'll do as far as the coaching search and all that good stuff and the GM search a little later after everybody gets their little input. I want to kind of touch on that piece, though.
Yeah, man, like that would give you 7-4 under Raheem against the most tumultuous stretch of the schedule. Because those games you lost early in the season are the cushion that you should have had going into the stretch.
Correct.
Coming into the stretch with the record like it is, even if you go 3-4 in the last 7, that'll sit you at 6-10. It'll be 6-5 under Raheem. And considering who you actually had to face, being the Saints are easily, arguably the best team in the NFC. You got to play them twice.
Correct.
The Raiders beat the Saints and the Chiefs, so the Raiders ain't no slouch. You got to play them.
Right.
The Chargers have been looking real good under the rookie Justin Herbert. You should win that game, but that's not a foregone conclusion because they play tight games with everybody. The Chargers have lost more single-score games than any team in the league. Okay. So, they've been on the cusp every week of winning. You got the Bucs twice. They've looked bad in a couple of games. They've looked really good in some games. So, sweeping them is probably not going to happen. They are, any given Sunday you play against Tampa Bay, they'll put 45 points on you. So, you might split with them. So, if you split with them, split with the Saints, you're not going to beat the Chiefs. You may not beat the Raiders.
Oh, we're not going to beat
To win 3 or 4 of the last 7 games would be a win for Raheem Morris and the Falcons. It's not like you playing to jock for playoff position. You actually trying to get something together moving forward.
Correct. And I wouldn't. It's not a foregone conclusion that we'll lose to the Chiefs. The Chiefs' defense is not that great.
They just know how to win.
They know how to win. Granted that ball control, continue to play with the offensive line play we had over the last few weeks. Gurley getting his footing. You got Hill and you got Smith doing their thing. We get Ridley back after the bye week, and everybody's clicking. I can see us putting up 30-some-odd points on the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, can we stop them?
They'll put up 40, though.
They may, but if we continue to play that fast and physical brand of defense where now we're blitzing our strong safeties, we're throwing in cornerback blitz, things that have been foreign to the Falcons. We've not been known to have any kind of defensive pass rush, and if our front 3 or 4 are not getting there, we're not sending linebackers, we're not sending safety, we're not sending cornerbacks. But you built this team on speed and being physical. So now when you start to play with that kind of mantra and that mindset, we can compete with anybody. And when you look at it, we talk about it, when you look at it on paper, this team is just as good as any team in the freaking NFL.
I said that a week ago.
Every team in the NFL has problems. Every team in the NFL has holes in it. The Falcon team is no less suited than any team in the freaking NFL. And to an extent, look at New Orleans. Man-to-man, paper-to-paper. Hell, we match up just as well as New Orleans do, if not better,
we do look good
position-wise. So, again, I'm not going to say that we can't beat Kansas City, we can't beat the Raiders, we can't beat anybody. I think the way they're going right now, you come out of this bye week, you're healthy with Ridley, Julio and Matt on the same page. Hayden Hurst is getting his act together. Your running game, your offensive line is doing pretty well at this point. We're going to be a problem. And it might be the homer in me to say, yeah, we can win 5 out of 7, 4 out of 7. But the shit is real.
Yeah, but even just from what you just outlined, like sending linebackers or sending corners.
That's what everybody does. Yeah, that's what every team in the league does except for us.
5 of your next 7 games are against quarterbacks that will burn you for doing that. But they're against quarterbacks that you actually have to get your pressure without blitzing. Otherwise, they will pick you apart.
Well, I think
you got Breeze twice, Brady twice, Pat Mahomes. Derek Carr isn't getting all that much credit, but the Raiders have been scoring and they've beat very good football teams.
I agree.
The Chargers are kind of up and coming. So, like the Raiders and the Chargers are the only 2 teams that y'all have left on your schedule that don't have quarterbacks. That'll be like, oh, you gonna send an extra guy? Like, yeah, all right, we're gonna throw there.
Only guy you mentioned was Pat Mahomes that can probably necessarily beat us with his legs. If we do, Breeze ain't getting out the way of no shit. Brady ain't getting out the way of no shit. Pat Mahomes is the only guy. The other guys,
they see that coming.
But no, not necessarily. If you watch the last few games where the Falcons do it, that delayed blitz with Debo and even with Keanu O'Neal, they're not showing pre-snap blitzing. They're going after the ball is snapped, and they're hitting that A gap or that B gap, or that long B gap, and they're getting their ass in there because they are fast guys. You sending AJ Terrell off the fucking corner.
But we talking about Kirk Cousins, Matt Stafford, Teddy Bridgewater, and Drew Lock.
And we're talking about a defense that has a secondary that can compete with anybody. When you got Keanu Neal back there, you got a hole in Isaiah Oliver with the bump and run or the press coverage, you will. But as a whole,
You're doing it against quarterbacks that are like yours that don't make pre-snap reads.
But you also do this against teams, Breeze, and then you got Brady, that you're going to play tough and tighter anyway because they're divisional rivals. Breeze just don't come in here and wear us out every time we fucking play him.
But y'all don't be sending all these exotic blitz packages at him either because he's too good for that.
And we've still been able to do that. Teams that beat them are not beating them because they're blitz. They're beating them because, fuck, he's just going to make mistakes and we get pressure. So we got to put pressure on him. We got to make him make the quick read. We got to make him do the thing. Then we got to make him pay once they catch it in the secondary with Keanu Neal and so forth. That's the difference that you have.
Well, true. Oh, well.
But I'm going to ask you this. What about coaching? How do we find another coach? Is it GM first? How do you guys look at that? And what should the Falcons do to move forward?
I think the Falcons need to do what they like. They really need to try to go balls out and win as many of these games as they can. Because the flip side of it, you don't know if Eric Bieniemy is even going to want the job if they come out and look horrible down the stretch. You want to look as good as you can. I hope that you can probably either get Raheem Morris to get this job or Eric Bieniemy to come and keep Raheem.
So you're saying the head coach is more important than the GM at this point?
Yeah, I mean, they have the players. It's not so much a GM issue at this point. You have plenty of players. And, I mean, if you tank, that's not saying you – even tanking here, if you win 6 games, you may not be able to get Trevor Lawrence, Justin Fields, or a Mac Jones. Like, so now why are you trying to pick that high? If you're not trying to get a quarterback, you don't need to suck like that. You need to actually get it together and mesh these pieces.
So I agree with you, and one of the few times we're going to agree because I think right now the core of our team, we got another 2, if not 3 years with Julio, Matt, Debo, Keanu, AJ Terrell, that core group of guys, your Chris Lindstrom, your McGarry's, Alex Mack is on his last leg, and Matthews there. So you got your core group of guys there for another 2 years. So you need to find a coach that can come in here. If it's not going to be Raheem Morris, that's going to get the most out of those friends guys, the Isaiah Oliver type cat, make them more consistent. The Sheffield, get them more consistent and put them in the scheme. So I agree with you. The coach is the most important piece. You can get out here and find you a guy that knows football and find you that 2nd, 3rd round gem, or find you that 5th round gem. And Grady Jarrett, I forgot to mention Grady Jarrett up the middle. So we got those guys that are already here. So a coach that can come in and get the most out of what he has is what we need the most. And right now, Raheem is showing that, man. Like
I agree.
He's a freaking play away, man, from being 3-0.
I agree. But like y'all,
4-0.
But I mean, honestly, the Falcons, like, we're basically playing our typical Falcons football because at the beginning we lose and then at the end we want to start winning games. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, we'll see how we finish out the rest of the games. A good little question. So, at 3-6, should the Falcons tank for the next quarterback or try to find continuity and build momentum with who they got, which is Matty Ice? So, should he go, y'all?
Feez just spoke about it. Like,
Yeah.
I don't think at this point they're in the business of tanking.
Yeah.
We're looking at right now, realistically, probably another 7-9 season. What you want to do is make this organization attractive enough for a GM and possibly a Eric Bieniemy, if you don't go with Raheem Morris, to want to come to this organization. So tanking, I think it's out of the question at this point. Raheem is playing for a job or coaching for a job, and he's trying to get the most from these guys. Yep. And right now, clearly, he's doing the job. So, that building for the future, I don't think tanking it will happen that way from doing it this season.
And if they lost every game, man, Eric Bieniemy would want to come here because he want to get his shot. Regardless, if he's offered a head coaching job, and it can be for the Jets, it can be for the Falcons, it can be for anybody, he's going to take that job. GM for that matter, right? They're going to come in because they already see what they have, and then they got to do it to find 1 or 2 players to complement that piece and keep moving, right? So I think the job is going to be an attractive job regardless because you have some cats that are already here, and you're just a few seasons away from being a Super Bowl contender and even competing in the NFC South. So I think we'll find somebody. We may already have this guy in Raheem Morris. I hope we do. You know, it will be less turnover, less distraction, less learning curve for cats to coming in. You already got a guy that's been here, and it's obvious he has the ear of the guys looking at what the defense is now doing. Also, and even like we talked about Dirk Cutter, his offense is starting to damn open up now. I don't know where the fuck it was the first 4 weeks of, you know, all this shit, but maybe it was just, you know, he was able to do what he wanted to do and there wasn't no pressure on him, right? Yeah. Sometimes you got to make cats feel uncomfortable.
Yep. Getting them uncomfortable, that's where, you know, you really do your thing at. So that's true.
You got to get tired of getting fired.
Oh, that's a good one. That's true.
Well, you know, he suffers from that privilege piece. He'll get another job.
Right.
That's what they do. I mean, it appears to me that the NFC South just love him. Like somehow he fits the NFC South. I'm gonna move him all the way around this motherfucker. He ain't been to Carolina, he ain't been to New Orleans yet, but it's coming.
Okay, well, there y'all have it. So we're gonna transition into some college football action. So Notre Dame knocked off the #1 ranked Clemson Tigers in a double overtime thriller without their star quarterback Trevor Lawrence. So is Notre Dame a legit threat to win the Natty for their first time since '88? I mean, hey, they on fire. I mean,
they're not on fire.
Listen,
don't listen to this national media bullshit.
They're 7-0. They ain't beating
nobody. And they playing fucking Florida State, Wake Forest, North Carolina, Pitt, and Georgia Tech. Get the fuck out of here. Listen, let's be clear on this shit. Trevor Lawrence playing this game, that offense is not conservative. It's not doing all this shit. And you don't put so much pressure on your fucking defense. It's college football. Yes, your defense stay on the field long enough, it's going to be holes in it, and you give a team a little bit of momentum, they feel like they can compete with you. Now they're riding the high, right? That's what that shit is. Let's not be fooled by it. We always want to knock Clemson for just playing in the ACC and, oh, Clemson just playing the ACC. They ain't playing nobody. They want a fucking natty. They beat the top teams in the country going there. Notre Dame is not that team. Listen, granted they beat and we all know in college football, you lose a star, this shit's a problem. You lose a star at quarterback, you got a real damn problem. Any team in the top 25 in football right now, I'm trying to think of the exception that you can probably take out of that. Probably Alabama. Take Mac Jones out, they're not going to fall by too much. But you take the starting quarterback out of them situations.
They got like a West Coast offense flowing Bama now. They're not a ground and pound team anymore.
Well, but you take away Mac Jones, they got 2 5-stars behind it. And granted, the guy at Clemson was a 5-star, didn't pan out well for him. But you take away the quarterback out of that and put him in a top tier divisional game, they're gonna have problems. It's just what it is. So I don't give them too much props for it. Yes, hey, great. You beat Clemson. You stood up. You stood tall. You did what you're supposed to do when they're a man down. I think when they meet in the ACC championship, Clemson, Dabo, and Trevor Lawrence are going to have a bone to pick, and they're going to put their foot in Notre Dame's ass.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, most definitely. Notre Dame is not a contender. I mean, they've beat the teams that were on their schedule. They beat a Clemson team without their quarterback 47-40 in double overtime, with a freshman quarterback starting his second game, put up 439 yards, 2 touchdowns, and no picks. They stacked the box to stop Travis Etienne and dared them to win with their quarterback, and they damn near did it. I mean, if you were that close to losing to them with the freshman backup quarterback,
then that's a problem.
Trevor Lawrence would have beat you by at least 3 touchdowns. And the ACC right now, they're not doing the Atlantic and the Coastal Division because of COVID, since they let Notre Dame play a full ACC schedule. So the ACC championship game will just be the #1 and #2 team in the conference, as opposed to which teams are on which side, because Notre Dame and Clemson actually are on the same side, but there are no sides.
Right.
So unfortunately for Notre Dame, they're going to see Clemson again. And when Clemson beats the hell out of them, they're going to drop out of the whole picture. Like, if they were able to play a tight game and it'd be just like that again, Notre Dame could probably stick around and hold on to the 4th spot. But Clemson is going to drag them they'll jump up to at least 3. I don't think they'll be able to jump Ohio State.
Or Alabama, right?
Well, no, we know we're not going to 1.
Yeah.
But like they might jump to like if possible 2. More than likely they'll go to 3, and then it's going to leave a huge void for the 4th spot, which that opens the door for lots of teams.
And it's going to be the team that Alabama is going to beat in the SEC championship, and all apparent reasons it's going to be Florida.
But that'll be 2 losses for Florida.
Yeah, but the SEC championship game is going to be 1. And that's going to be the Notre Dame argument too, right?
That game will have to be really, really close.
That's going to be a damn dogfight.
If Florida gets blown out, then that ain't happening.
I can see that.
They'd have to win. Like, it has to be a 1-possession game for them to hold on with 2 losses. And that still might not be enough because even though you got Florida sitting there, you got Cincinnati undefeated at 7, BYU undefeated at 8, you got Oregon sitting at 11. And as the season progresses with the short amount of games they play, like if Oregon has the best chance to jump into that mix because of the way this whole thing is unfolded. If Georgia hadn't a loss, then they'd be sitting pretty to be like they could still get the 4th spot. That second loss, that killed it for them. Yeah, Florida's going to get their second loss against Bama. So now either an undefeated Pac-12 champion or this BYU team has they've been ushered a chance to get in there at the 4th spot to get blasted by Alabama.
Handed to them. They've been handed to them. Yeah, they'll be if they remain undefeated. Yeah, absolutely correct.
If any of them wins out, then they'll jump into that 4th spot. There's not a 4th team that's worthy of playing
team right now.
Alabama, Clemson, or Ohio State. But someone has to get the spot. And when Notre Dame gets destroyed in the ACC championship game, they'll drop from 2 to about 6.
Correct.
Ooh, well,
or if they make it to see Bama to be. Didn't they meet in the championship game 1 year and got smoked?
What was that, 2011?
Yeah, with your boy, the girl.
Monte Te'o with the fake
girlfriend. Yeah.
Mr. Catfish.
That shit right there.
Talk about that.
Is he still in New Orleans?
I don't think so.
Is Te'o still in the
league? He's not
league?
playing anymore.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
He did get married, though.
Yeah.
He got married to a real woman this time.
Okay.
Well,
what's
go ahead.
I had been keeping up with
They
you.
got pictures of him and her together. Like, real woman.
Okay.
Fees. What's going on with USC, man? Are they still...
We only played 1 game. We want to know.
Okay. All right.
Well, yeah, I tried to, boost the
Scored 14
Fighting
points
Irish
in the last
shit up.
90 seconds against Arizona State and your boy Herm Edwards.
Herm Edwards, okay.
Yeah. They still sitting at ranked number 20 with 1 game. If they run the Pac-12, they'll move way up that pole, especially since they had to play Oregon probably twice because they had to play them for the Pac-12 championship. If they go undefeated, then they'll get that 4th spot. But going undefeated, that's saying a lot. They really do that.
I like that.
I mean, I'm all for it. I rock with SC. For those of y'all who didn't know. Most of you did.
Yeah, you said it several times.
They don't be listening. Just like I told them to call the petty line, and they don't do that. They just Twitter finger.
What's the number? What's the number? 678?
871.
9602.
Yeah, call the petty
Bobby
sports line.
Christina in there.
Talk to us. Do you believe in Notre Dame? Is Clemson a fad or they fell off? What will happen, man? We got the petty five, sports five.
Did we answer the y'all answered the
yeah, we did.
Yeah, we did. Y'all did that right.
Uh-huh.
Well, okay. So petty sports. Did you want to hear sponsors again? Or?
Yeah, these
ladies and gentlemen, thank you
Petty
once
bills.
again for coming in and watching us tonight here at Petty Sports Wednesday night edition, brought to you by Kingz Broadcasting Studios. You got the full table, the whole crew tonight. You know what I'm saying? Lele, you got Banks, you got FamousFeez, you got Mike Bell, baby, you got Petty Man behind the 1s and 2s making everything work out. You know what I'm saying? We had some issues earlier, but we back up and running on all the platforms. Simple Radio, go to Post 880. If you go to Boxcast on your smart TV and type in that app and just hit Kingz Broadcasting, and you can watch us live in your man cave or your she shed. So go out, share the show on YouTube, all those places, Twitch. So check us out, man. You know what I'm saying? Call your people, man. Let them know we on. We talking football, and we getting ready for one of the
football crazy
more exciting parts of the show. The Fast Five Petty Sports piece. You know what I'm saying? ATL, hold back to the regular scheduled program.
All right. So just like he said it, the Petty Sports Fast Five. We're about to present it to you right now. So with our first question, Are Josh Allen and the 72 Bills a legit threat in the AFC? So we'll take it. We'll start down here and we'll go on down the line. How that sound? Oh gosh.
Nah, listen. And
You only
we-
got 30 seconds, pimp.
All right, so I started here when we talked about it. Fee said Buffalo was a resurgent Buffalo after like the third or fourth week, and I said I wasn't really a fan of Josh Allen. They proven me wrong. I think they are a legitimate threat, and I think on any given Sunday they can beat anybody. Other than the Steelers right now, who's looking like a world beater in the NFC, other than Cincinnati. So I mean Cincinnati, Kansas City. So I believe them. I believe them right now. I think they can do some noise.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're a legit threat. I mean, they lost a close game to the Chiefs. They got Arizona, Pitt, and Miami still on their schedule. They're sitting in third place in the AFC right now. They're favored to win 5 of the last 7 games. If they win the games that they're favored, they'll finish 12-4. And that's like they're actually underdogs to Arizona on the road, which is insane because Miami beat Arizona last week. So I don't know why you would not pick Buffalo to beat them. But I think they definitely got a legit shot to beat Pittsburgh too. So I think the Bills are a legitimate threat.
Well, I think so too. I mean, I'm looking at Josh Allen for, of course, prime example. I mean, he puts up good numbers. He has a good arm. He can run. I mean, he's good in the red zone as a QB. Hey, you really can't go wrong with him. And isn't he playing with a shoulder? I think he had like a shoulder injury.
Yeah, I heard them about him being hurt.
Oh, I think he had like a shoulder injury. But yeah, I feel like he's they'll be a good threat. I mean, a threat to the AFC. So
Yeah, I think Buffalo, they're legit. Nice team running smooth at this point. They had a couple of wrinkles in the road with a couple of L's that they took, but like for me right now, they're a little too inconsistent. You know what I'm saying? They don't show up every week. Like when you see Buffalo, sometimes you're like, okay, these guys, like they going all the way. You know what I'm saying? Oh, they have a good chance of really making some noise. And then some weeks you look at them, you're like, I don't know, man. You know what I'm saying? They leave you kind of scratching your head, but like Feez just said, if they pull off a 14-2 season, perhaps, or something like that, they can really go in and make some noise. The defense is very respectable. And Josh Allen don't make a whole lot of mistakes. You know what I'm saying? I think he has like 5 interceptions this year to his 19 touchdown passes.
Oh.
So that's pretty damn good. So he does a great job behind center. And that probably will go a long way if he continues to get better.
All right.
Okay, well, our second question. Oh, UGA laid an egg against their SEC West rival Florida Gators. Is it time to look for a new head coach? It's easy, but we're going to take it away.
Hey, I mean, I think it absolutely is because of the way that they actually went about the last one. If you look at Kirby Smart, he's been there for 5 years. He's 48-14. At least 2 losses in every season and a 3-2 record in bowls. Now, to put that in context, Mark Richt in his first 5 seasons was 52-13. Win percentage slightly higher. 3-2 in bowl games, exactly the same. He had a 13-1 season in 2002 and didn't win any national championships, exactly the same as Kirby Smart. You can't get over the hump. Both regimes had all the talent in the world and could not get it done. The coaching is the problem. They have the athletes. They're not winning because the coaches just ain't doing it.
I'm going to say yes, and yes. And it should have been for the last 2 years. We mentioned it earlier with the Justin Fields debacle. You lost those national championships without the very best quarterback you could have had in your program running and calling the shots. Now look at what you're doing again. Mathis is sitting on the bench. You gave him a quarter and 2 minutes, and you yanked him for a kid who's a 5-year journeyman quarterback who we all know was not going to be able to compete against the Alabamas and the Floridas in this college football league. So, should Kirby be fired for just that management of quarterbacks alone? Hell yes. It's time to go. Like Feez said, you got the most talent you can find in anywhere else. You look across any roster in college football right now, the dominant players on those teams are all from Georgia. And you lose them out of your backyard. So if your recruiting method is bad and your quarterback evaluation is screwed up, you got to go.
That's a big problem.
There's a black eye on him. There's a lot of groups that are not going to fool Kirby just for what he did.
That's the reason why you got to go.
Yeah. The Justin Fields effect is real.
It's real.
Yeah, totally agree. Kirby not so smart. Should be packing his bags. He's not very much different than Mark Richt, what was here earlier. You brought him in to beat Alabama. He has yet to do that. Has been in every one of those games, but got out-coached towards the end and looks like a hot mess, like he's not ready to compete at the highest level. So ship him out.
Yeah, I mean, it's time to go. Just like basically all y'all say, it's time to go. People keep saying give him 2 more years. I don't think he's gonna last 2 more years, y'all. I'm gonna be honest with you. He's not gonna last.
It's gonna be a 10-year run. Y'all about
Well,
You gave Rick 15.
now listen, whether he gets fired and should he get fired, two different things.
Exactly.
You're still in Georgia.
Okay.
And you see what they're doing up there in Ann Arbor with Jim Harbaugh, although he
Right.
might have already put the nail in his coffin. This is a Brunswick guy, played at Georgia. He's going to get the benefit of the doubt. I don't think he's going anywhere, but he should be.
Yeah, I mean, and just like, of course, he's still receiving that backlash from Justin Fields. Like, everybody on
He'll
his back.
never live that down.
Yeah, that's like,
He has to win a championship to live it down.
Right.
And we know that's not
at least
happening
get
this
the
year.
SEC title or something. I don't know.
He
It's
got to
too
win a
much.
natty to live that down.
Especially
Right.
if Justin go and gets one. If he wins a national title, man, that's going to be like
That'll
Yeah.
hurt.
If he's the number 1 overall pick, it's going to kill him.
You let him go.
Well then,
Yes.
and didn't have to.
No.
You know what I'm saying? He didn't have to. Justin wanted to stay.
Not at all. But your stubbornness and your is my way and he's not ready. Didn't his exact words. So and so gives us the best chance of winning.
True.
Hey, he said the same thing this year with goddamn Stetson Bennett. But let's go.
all right. Well, number 3, Tua T posted a 122 QB rating in his second win
Tua
at the
T?
starting. Yes, Tua T, because his last name.
Oh, we good.
Yeah,
Hey,
you know,
God, good. Come on,
Kept them
goddamn.
5 and 3
I
Dolphins.
had smoke in my mouth.
I thought the way you looked at me and I was like, oh, she just said to a T.
Tua T posted a 122 QB rating in his second win as a starter. So can the 5 and 3 Dolphins overtake the Bills for the AFC East crown?
I mean, it's not a foregone conclusion, actually. I mean, the Dolphins are sitting in a position. They just won 4 straight. They're sitting at 5 and 3. They're 1 game back in the L column to Buffalo. They got the Chargers, the Broncos, the Jets, and the Bengals. They can foreseeably easily win those 4 and end up 9 and 3. If the Bills lose one of their next games, they'll be tied with them for the division lead, and they play each other the last game of the season. So, I mean, they're definitely a threat to win the division. I wouldn't pick them to overtake Buffalo to win the division, but it's in play.
Okay, so because they're second after Buffalo. Okay.
Yeah.
I agree too. I think Miami, and especially the way Tua is playing right now, it wouldn't be a foregone conclusion to say that Miami could show up and shock some people. Especially the Buffalo, because that's a division rivalry, of course, and those are sometimes the biggest, toughest wins to get. So I think you shouldn't rule out Miami at this point.
Buffalo beat them by 3 when they played earlier this year. It was a tight game.
Are y'all all smoking shit?
Because I don't agree.
Let me explain something to y'all, man.
Okay, all right.
Tua T, Tagovailoa, however you want to put it, 2 game sample size, he's done a damn good job. I think he's an excellent quarterback, and I think he'll make his mark on the league. But Tua can't do it by himself. To date, they don't have 1 running back averaging 100 yards a game. They don't have 1 wide receiver averaging 100 yards a game. And their defense is pretty much suspect. They're fucking done. Like, they won't overcome anybody. They'll have a good season. They'll have a commendable season with Tua, and he'll continue to progress. And you look for that kid to do some amazing things down the line. To overcome a team and even finish at the top of their division, I don't think it's going to happen. But, hey, like Feez said, it could happen.
It could.
Right. 5 and 3, you can't say they're done.
I'm not saying that.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is they're not overtaking the Buffalo Bills.
I can't see that.
To do that in the AFC. I just don't see it. But hey, it could happen. I just don't. I think they're gonna need more than just Tua. And now with Tua behind the helm, taking the snaps, defensive coordinators, what we always say for NFL stands for not for long. Once they start to scheme for you and do all these things for you, you'll see tighter windows for Tua. You'll see things because they don't have to worry about the running game and so on and so forth. I think it'll start to come to, the level will start to set a little bit, but I think he'll continue to progress over the next couple of years.
Well, what they got sitting on their schedule, they could definitely be in that race for it. I mean, they're in the 7th spot. Like they have that last playoff spot right now.
Okay. There it is.
Well, there you go. Okay, well, number 4. How long can the Pittsburgh Steelers continue to win tight games and stay undefeated?
No, just like Dwight just said, not for long. It's ridiculous the way they've been pulling these games out. Like Pittsburgh is down every week. They're relying on the defense. Like they've been extremely fortunate. You can't hate on them, but Big Ben is not balling. They're relying on the defense and the other team to make mistakes.
Okay.
I mean, I think the Cincinnati Bengals could come out and take them out this week the way Joe Burrow's been playing. But they also got to play Baltimore again. They play at Buffalo. I think the Colts are poised to actually make some noise against them. And if they don't actually show up like they're supposed to, the Cleveland Browns at home could take them out in the last game of the season.
Ooh.
No way in hell they finish 16-0.
Yeah, I don't think so. That margin of victory they've had, they beat the Browns. They beat the only team they've actually blew out.
Yeah, they destroyed Cleveland.
Yeah.
That was it. Every other game has been 10 or less.
10 or less points, right? So with that being said, now I'm as a coach, right? I say this a lot of times. People think that is just you win these tough games, you start to believe you can't be beat. Mm-hmm. You start to believe that you're in every game. Mm-hmm. That confidence will allow Ben and the running attack and all that to get their traction and to get moving. Defense is doing their part, but you got to be able to put up points each and every week. You can't give up 21 points, 28 points every week and still expect to win, right? I think they'll continue to move on this. Going 16-0 will be a hard road to go, but it's not on. I would love to see it from a Tomlin perspective, even though the man in 14 years has not had a losing season. I think this would just be something that seals him as one of those lifelong coaching Hall of Fame type guys that'll get into it on that level. Much success to him. Continue winning these tight games. They're going to be a tough road, a tough ticket to punch down toward the playoff.
Okay, well, I'm just looking ahead real quick at their schedule. They have the Bengals, Jags, Ravens, Washington, Bills, and Colts. And you said the Browns that they were.
The Browns game.
Mike?
Right now, I can say they are the specialists at winning the close games.
Okay.
They've probably won more close games than anybody else in the league. So they do play to the zeros are left on the clock. They have great coaching. They have veteran leadership at the quarterback position. They just have to go out and keep doing what they've been doing, and that's stay grimy. They play grimy ball. They put me in the frame of mind of Tennessee. But I don't think they'll be able to go with 16-0. I'm not saying that by any stretch, but I think winning close games, that's what they do. That's their style of play.
Yeah.
They're comfortable with that. They don't flinch in the pocket, if you will. So moving forward, I think they stand a good chance of probably Baltimore will give them a nice fit.
I said the Bills.
And maybe the Colts. I don't know. The Bills still really
Just trying to figure them out.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? The Colts, that might be a shocker right there.
I say the Ravens and the Bills may give them a look. Give them competition. But the Ravens, just like I think Dwight said, they got to figure out that bad play calling and stuff. So
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep. And one thing to note just about Pittsburgh. Mm-hmm. Pittsburgh has a bad omen on their schedule that no one looks at. That's the same omen that New England has against Miami every year. Mm-hmm. The Jacksonville Jaguars beat Pittsburgh every time they play them. They struggle with Jacksonville, and they play them at Jacksonville, so it's going to be hot as hell, and they're very confident against them. So don't be surprised if you see a monster upset in a game where Pittsburgh is favored by 14 points. That Jacksonville comes out and shocks everybody because they always beat them.
Okay,
that would be a shock.
Yeah,
ask any Pittsburgh fan they're all scared to death of playing Jacksonville.
I didn't. Wow.
But they're just absolutely sorry this year. I mean
that's the same thing you say about the Dolphins. A lot of times you'd be like, how the hell they keep beating New England?
Yeah.
Jacksonville does that to Pittsburgh every time they play them.
Well, shoot, our last Petty Sports 5 fast question. Ooh, NBA talk. Rumors are circulating that the Clippers are interested in Russell Westbrook. So, should they go for this trade?
But it depends on who they actually put in the trade.
I was about to ask the same question. How they disclose who might those trades be for Russell?
They haven't disclosed it.
No, they haven't.
Talks.
The talks are contract-wise, the only trade that makes sense is that they move Paul George. no one else's contract out there is big enough outside of Kawhi, and they're not moving him. But if we're looking at the difference between what Paul George brings to the table and what Russell Westbrook brings to the table in a full 72-game schedule, I mean, I think it actually favors Westbrook, seeing as how Kawhi is going to be doing load management. And there'll be plenty of games where you're actually asking your number 2 star to carry the load. Russ can do that. Pandemic P, not so much.
Do that.
He did it in Indiana for a season, but outside of that 1 year with the Pacers, he's not proving that he can do that. Russell
was
Westbrook
missing his
can
family.
carry a team.
Him was missing his family.
Yeah, and I mean, they do have Zubac out there. So, I mean, like, you've seen with Russ, the way he puts pressure on defenses and makes folks collapse, Zubac will have a resurgence with West playing just because of the fact that he'll drive in and drop those lobs right over the top of the rim for him. But I think him to the Clippers would be a better move than keeping PG-13. That doesn't mean that makes them a shoe-in to win a championship, but I think it's a better look for the long haul for the Clippers.
Do you have to package Paul George with somebody else? Or do you keep Lou Williams as well? Or do you package Lou and Paul for Russ?
I think Lemon Pepper Lou's got to stay.
All right. I think if you
Lap
look
dance
at that,
Lou.
Beverly, Kawhi, Westbrook, whoever the other power forward gonna be, Morris or either, and then Zubac. That's a hell of a team in the West.
Yeah.
A hell of a team in the West, baby.
I mean, you saw the way Russ worked out with Steven Adams. He's great with a big man. Zubac could absolutely be that.
I didn't take the pressure off of Kawhi as well.
Yeah.
Because I mean we've seen it. And Kawhi, he's a hell of a ball player, but when you look at him, when the rubber met the road, it was just a little too much for him.
Well, I don't know. I really can't see Westbrook going to the Clippers. I mean, because Westbrook, he's already ball dominant. I really can't see like him complimenting off PG and Kawhi.
Well,
I don't
PG
know.
Won't
won't
be
be
there
there
with PG.
And you put Russ back at home, right? He's an LA guy.
Yep.
Back at home, got a shot to go at LeBron, got a guy that can go head to head with him. Defense is going to take a hell of a step up with Russ on the field, on the court. It's going to be, if that trade happens, that's going to be one hell of a team. And it just adds more parity to the league, right? That's all it does.
But
He's from
that's gonna
LA.
be-
He's a UCLA guy. They'll embrace him in LA like no other.
Shit.
I think
You think they fighting for the Staples Center right now? Come on, man.
Oh, yeah, it's about to be, yeah.
I just don't know how Westbrook would fare in a scenario where he has to share the ball.
He did it this year.
And he looked like garbage in the bubble during the playoffs.
Yeah,
he looked
he
like
wasn't
a
all
hot
that.
mess.
Yeah,
he
he
was
was-
not Russell Westbrook that we expected to
Yep.
see. Spent a lot of time on the bench. He missed a lot of shots. He missed a lot of layups. He just looked out of sorts, and I don't know if he can fit into an organization over there with the Clippers and be effective, not being the main guy.
Shit, me.
I just don't see.
I
He
can't
hasn't.
see it either.
Only time he's been successful is when he was the main guy. He got his numbers, he got his touches, and it won't be like that. It'll be just like where he's leaving from now.
No, it won't. You know why? I think Kawhi understood. Had I had a legitimate number one over here with me, and I could defer to that guy some nights and this, that, and the third, when I could be my most effective, because we've shown that Kawhi is not an every day, every night. He's not going to be a 72 game guy and playoff.
No.
So now, when you can bring in a guy like Russ who can do a double a night, and you can still get yours, and we're gonna get this ring, and we're gonna do what we got to do, Kawhi is okay with that. That's just his demeanor, man. The dude still drives an 09 Suburban. That's his demeanor. He's a worker, man. Like he don't give a damn about the glitz and the glamour.
Nah.
You know, so, and he took his shot, man. And now I'm not gonna sign with LA, and I'm not gonna sign with LeBron, even though LeBron was courting him.
And like I said, I just don't think so. It remains to be seen if he
Yeah.
goes, and I don't know if Tyronn Lue can handle that.
Shit.
I don't know if Tyronn Lue will be able to handle a player like Westbrook and trying to
can't
manage
see
it.
it. I don't know.
Lou
Everybody
Tyler-
on the team is better than him. They ain't listening to him.
Hey,
I just can't
That's the
see it.
point. That's
what-
my point.
Man, everybody on the
That's
team.
my point right
everybody
there.
on
If you're not
Golden
listening
State,
to your coach, it's going to be a
everybody on
problem.
Golden State was better than goddamn Steve Kerr. All these cats that are out there that are coaching now, everybody on Miami team was better than the guy that Spoelstra is down there. All these cats understand. Ty Lue played in a league when it was rough, tough, and dangerous, the AIs, all that shit. He's cut his teeth in this. You can say, yeah, he went to Cleveland. Nah. Ty Lue is a coach. He is a coach's coach, a player's coach that he understands the game inside and out. Mm-hmm. I guarantee you he'll have their ear more so than anybody else they bring in there. Doc Rivers was a guy, he's still a player's coach, but the time had kind of passed him by where he was still old school in his thought process, his mentality. I can assure you, these cats gonna look up to Ty Lue and be like, all right, let's go, coach. And you bring Russ Westbrook into this mix right now, it will be a problem and a half. Then they say bringing in, I think Chauncey Billups is going to join the staff as well with him.
That's a lot of personality on that team.
But that's a lot of former NBA guys that played at the highest level, man.
With championships.
Yes.
I don't think LA Clippers will be as good as they were this year.
It's a lot of There's going to be a lot going on.
They got knocked out by Denver. Was it Denver that put them out?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You think Kawhi? Utah. It might be Utah. I'm sorry, Utah.
Yeah, it was Utah.
You think Kawhi is saying, man, we lost to goddamn Utah? Shit.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see.
Yeah, it's gonna be one thing to close it out. It's gonna be expensive to get Westbrook if they get him. Of course, you know.
Yep.
All right, so moving right along.
That's that Microsoft money. They good.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, they good. So moving right along, the NBA is set to come back on December 22nd with a full 72-game season planned. Now, I don't know if that's too early, but the NBA draft will take place a week from today. All eyes are on the Golden State Warriors. What should they do with the number 2 pick, y'all?
Man, 1 week from today, that thing is going to happen while we on air. So we bring that to you live and direct. But as far as the number 2 pick, I know a lot of people are saying the Golden State should look to move it, try to get players. I really think Golden State should go ahead and pick up James Wiseman. That's the 7'1", 240-pound center out of Memphis. Averaged 19 points, 11 boards, 3 blocks as a freshman. They didn't play very many games. So, I mean, that is granted that. But the dude is long and athletic. He runs the floor extremely well.
Mm-hmm.
Is that Is that Penny's guy?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Penny's guy. Yeah.
He fits what Golden State does. I mean, he's a legit 7-footer. He's only 19 years old.
Yep.
So he may grow some more. But he's not like your boy JaVale McGee, where he hasn't quite figured out how to use his limbs and looking ridiculous out there like he's just overgrown. He has control over it. He runs the floor. He catches oops. He gets rebounds. And he's a decent free throw shooter. He shoots 70% from the field. I mean, from the stripe. I mean, for folks that are like, 70% ain't that good, he shoots just as good from the free throw line as LeBron. That's very good for a center. Especially in the offense that Golden State's running. They going fast. They run and gun. He gets rebounds. They can actually just run it through him, pass the ball to him, and let him dish it back out because he's big enough to be a problem. If you don't collapse, then he'll kill you. If you do bring somebody down, they got shooters for days. I think it's a no-brainer. Don't trade the pick. Get James Wiseman.
Okay.
I like Wiseman. I think he's probably going to live up to all the hype that's preceded him. Penny's big on him. Clearly, the league is, especially being the number 1 pick or the number 2 pick, I should say. I think they're projecting LaMelo to go first, but you just never know until they actually pick. So, by them keeping that number 2 pick and maybe potentially grabbing him, I don't think it'll be a bad lick, you know. And I don't think they can go wrong if they trade him away for veteran players to help get them over the hump as well. So I think they're in a really good position, and they'll be fine either way it goes.
It's tough.
Nah, the Wiseman pick is nice. I want to see my hometown guy Anthony Edwards go.
I was going to say that too.
But I think he and LaMelo got similar skill sets. I would not be surprised if Minnesota took him first. Took Anthony Edwards over LaMelo, and him in Chicago flipped with that pick, right? But I think Wise would be a great pick out there, and I think the young man has a lot of upside. And again, you lose that 7-footer, that a mobile 7-footer that Golden State lost. You know, we obviously probably consensus one of the top 2 or 3 players in the league they lost, but this kid will come in and fit right well with Steph, Klay Thompson. You still got your boy, crazy guy, Draymond in there as well to give him the game from a true professional standpoint. Also, there's not a whole lot of divas on that team, right? So it's going to be a whole lot of what Penny gave him. A lot of that support, love, admiration, and so on and so forth, and teaching the game the right way. People look at him. He had a shortcut season this year with a lot of the bullshit that happened with the NCAA assholes and whatnot. But under the tutelage of Penny since he was in AAU, this kid's probably the most complete professional on their draft board right now. So I really would think that kid is going to be a hell of a pick. They go in the number 2 spot with Golden State.
Okay, well, I agree with Dwight. I mean, everybody's favorite is Wiseman, but I would love to see Ant-Man potentially go to Golden State, as I feel like the Warriors can, ultimately mold him into their, style of play as far as shot selection. As the Golden State Warriors, they have some of the clutchest, shooters in the NBA. So, I mean, that's just my opinion.
He just don't fit anywhere.
I don't think he fits there.
He doesn't fit on the floor with them. Yeah, it's a good fit from a hometown kid, but he doesn't fit on the floor with them. Like, he doesn't come out and start right away.
Yeah, they don't need him.
Yeah, they don't need him. Oh. But the Wiseman kid they can use, and you got a fast kid that can get up and down the floor, legit 7-footer. He's going to have matchup problems as well. And you mess around and get out of there, and where he now shoots from the field at 71%, everybody on Golden State can shoot. He's gonna get balls in the air during the gym time. They're gonna make him a perimeter threat as well as an off the dribble threat, down low rebound, and he can move the floor. So I think he's a more perfect fit for that unit than anybody.
So what DeAndre jump in there and say who should the Hawks pick? I think they should pick up Obi Toppin out of Dayton, power forward.
I think the Hawks
beast.
Trade that pick and get a legit veteran in here.
I mean, they should do both, but not trade the pick. They need to get a veteran in and pick up Obi.
Be difficult. They got tight purse strings, but I would love to see it either way it go. Right, get a legit blue chipper in here as well to go along with our young gunners that we currently have.
True. Oh, well, hey, there y'all have it. I guess I'm the oddball, who represent for Ant-Man, but it's all good though. Okay, we're boiling down to the last few minutes of our show. So before we get into our predictions, we're gonna do sponsors from Mike B.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. We greatly appreciate you tuning in. Go to KingzBroadcasting.com, get your merchandise, the Petty Sports T-shirts, No Name the Podcast T-shirts. You can get a wake up. Spend some money over there with your boys at Kingz Broadcasting. We try to do our best in bringing forth good content and quality every week with all of our shows. So we would greatly appreciate the support if you go over there and not only support by clicking buttons and sharing and watching us and giving us the views, but spend some money. You know what I'm saying? Put your money where your mouth is, and that would really go a long ways here in helping us achieve some of the goals that we have set forth for the company. So thank you once again for tuning in to us, the Petty Sports Wednesday Night Edition, all brought to you by Kingz Broadcasting Studios. All right, yeah.
Yes, sir. All right, so hopping into the NFL Week 10 predictions. Our first matchup, Colts at Titans. So, gentlemen, who do we have to win this game?
I'm going to go Tennessee.
Oh, yeah, I definitely like Tennessee to win tomorrow night. Okay. I mean, the Colts have been showing promise here and there. Tennessee is still a legitimate contender in the AFC. Derrick Henry gets going. I don't think the Colts got anything for it. Ryan Tannehill has actually proven that he is a legitimate starting quarterback, and he's not just simply a game manager, because there have been plenty of games this season where Derrick Henry did not ball out, and they still won because Tannehill showed up. So I'm taking the Titans. They got this.
Agree. I mean, hey, it's Tannehill time. I'm going to go with the Titans.
I'm taking the Titans as well. They're supposed to win by 2. So that's who I'm rocking with. The over and under is 48.5.
Oh, wow.
Okay, then.
That's, okay. Next game?
Okay, next game. Okay, so the Bucks at Panthers.
I think the Bucks bounce back. As bad as they played last game, the Panthers cannot do what the Saints did. They don't have a front four that can pressure Brady the way that the Saints did him, and they're gonna have a nasty attitude about this. The Bucks might blow the Panthers out.
I'm gonna go Christian McCaffrey second game back.
He's not playing.
He's not playing?
Nope.
He's questionable.
Oh yeah, they did say that
He's questionable.
Hurt.
He's not out. He's questionable.
Yeah, I saw he's not playing.
You know, I'm gonna take just like
I'm gonna go Bucks then. McCaffrey's not playing. I go Bucks. If McCaffrey is playing it, coming back off an injury, may not be 100%. They're gonna lower manage him. Going Bucks.
I'm gonna go with the Bucks too. I just see what that miscommunication. That's sad.
Yeah,
Right.
I like the Bucks. They're supposed to win by 5. The over under is 50.5.
Okay.
So they're expecting the Panthers to put up some kind of numbers.
Either that or they're expecting the Bucks to
blow
score a
them
lot.
Right.
Blow them out. Yeah. Either or on that one.
Like a 40-13.
Okay.
Okay. Well, next game. Excuse me. Texans at Browns.
I like Cleveland in this game. They're at home. The Texans have showed nothing to make me believe that they have a real football team outside of Deshaun Watson.
Yeah.
J.J. Watt once out. I mean, the dysfunction in Houston is times a million. I don't trust them on any level. I'm going to take the Browns.
No
Okay.
trust in the office. No trust in the head coach. No trust in anything that's going on over in Houston.
Dang,
And I hate the Browns with all my heart because I just think they are all show and no go. But I'm going Cleveland Browns, man.
I'm going to go with the Browns too. Like I said, the Texans, they haven't been the same since they let go of my man D-Hop. So
Yeah,
trust.
that team is absolutely terrible.
Yeah.
And I'm going with the Browns. Supposed to be winning by 3, over under 52.
all right.
Okay.
Well, next game, Washington at Detroit.
What a disgusting football game.
Really?
I'm going to take the Detroit Lions.
We gotta
But
go Magic.
it's not like I'm confident in them. I mean, Washington shows shades of being an actual football team every blue moon. And Detroit sometimes plays and sometimes they thoroughly suck. But I think Detroit will pull the game out. It'll be tight. Some type of last-second debacle, ridiculousness. It'll be like, oh, it's a really good game. It's like, no, they both suck.
Dang.
I agree with you, man. And I'm going to go with the underdog, I believe, is Washington in that one. I just don't have any faith in Detroit, man. You know, hopefully their running game gets on point, man, and the Georgia boy figures it out this week, man. But I just don't think it's going to happen, man. I'm going to go with Washington.
I can't even be mad at that pick.
I mean, just like y'all said, they're both not really pretty good teams, but I'm gonna go with Detroit.
This is such a
Yes.
battle of the sorries, as I
Yeah.
like to call it. They didn't even have a line on this game earlier for over, under, or point spread. So
Vegas, like, man, I don't know.
It's Rick Ball.
yeah, I mean, really,
Rick Ball. Pick them.
I think I'll ride with Detroit on this
Okay.
one. I believe them playing at home against another absolutely terrible team, they should have enough pride and try to play for a victory at home. I see you out there 808 on the beat. He said he taking the Colts. You know, he ride with Steeler Nation. That's his squad.
Okay.
All right. There it is, Bizzle.
Okay. All right. So who do we have next?
Nobody checking for them.
Jaguars and Packers.
Dang. So yes, the Jaguars at the Packers.
Oh, that's the Packers all day.
AR-12, baby. AR-12 in the pack, man.
All right.
Green Bay at home, Aaron Rodgers is money when he play at home.
Yeah, they're home, so
And
that's
it's
their
gonna be-
home game.
Probably gonna be.
dominance.
I don't know what the forecast says for snow this week, but it's probably gonna be snowing and cold up here. I'm going with AR-12.
So
feel
long
bad
as he
for
don't
Jags.
pull no Hingle McCringleberries, it'll be good.
Early in the game, do it once the win is already decided. AR.
I feel bad for the Jags, but I'm going to take the Packers.
Yeah, I'm riding with the Pack. They're supposed to win by 13.5. The over and under is 51.5.
Okay.
Oh, boy, this next one here.
Okay, y'all. Okay. Eagles at Giants.
Listen, man, they both suck.
It's another one.
Carson Wentz can't get the turnover things together. Always waiting on the big plays. Giants don't have nothing. I don't know, but Eagles played Pittsburgh pretty strong. I'm going to Eagles.
I'm definitely taking the Eagles in this game. I mean, as much as I've dumped on Carson, his wide receiver situation is almost as bad as the New England wide receiver situation. And it's deeper than that. Like, their wide receivers are hurt, running backs are hurt, tight ends are hurt, offensive line is hurt. Everybody on that team on the offense is hurt except for Wentz. But even having said all of that, the Giants are garbage. It's a division game. The Eagles will win this. I mean, even if they have to deploy Jalen Hurts in other facets of the game outside of playing quarterback, I mean, like, Carson Wentz might have to throw the ball to Jalen.
But he's an athlete.
But they can do it.
He's an athlete, too.
Yeah, I mean, they bring him in certain situations to try to deploy him somewhat like Taysom Hill. They really should just be like, man, just come off of it and just play him and use him like that until you decide to actually play him a quarterback.
I agree. It opens up the offense, too.
Yeah. But I'm taking the Eagles.
There it is.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna take the Eagles as well. I mean, the Giants. I don't know what to say about them.
Just
period.
They're the Giants.
Yeah, it's a lot going on with them, the injuries and everything. And go ahead.
I'm going with the Giants.
Oh, okay.
They won last week. They gave Tampa Bay fits the other week. That was a very close game, and I'm not a fan of Carson Wentz at all. Giants at home. They got the Eagles by 3.5. Over under is 44.
All right.
Oh, the Chargers at Dolphins. Dolphins are at home.
Oh, I'm taking Miami in this
To
game.
a T, baby.
To
It's not because of Tua. It's just because of what the Dolphins have been cooking on defense. Their defense has looked very solid the past 4 weeks. They've won 4 straight games. They're playing against another rookie quarterback in Justin Herbert. He's looked good, but they've been losing close games, and the Dolphins have been pulling them out. They head-to-head, Tua versus Herbert. Tua will make another 1 or 2 plays more than what Herbert makes. It'll be a monster rookie quarterback matchup, so they'll really make a lot out of that. I think the Dolphins win at home.
I like the matchup as well. Tua gets it done with his legs this week. Shows he's a versatile quarterback that we all know. We watch him a lot in the SEC here. He's going to give him fits. I'm going to go with the Dolphins as well. Even though, like I earlier mentioned, no wide receivers, no real running threat, but Tua's going to get it done extending plays. One of those games like Feez talking about may come down to a last possession where this guy has to do some magic and start the Tua era where you say, hey, this kid could be one of those kind of prolific passers in the league. So I'm going to go with the Dolphins.
Okay. I mean, this will be a pretty good matchup. A little cute little matchup. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna go to Dolphins.
I'm riding with the Dolphins. I think if Tua doesn't try to do too much because he's matching up against Herbert, he'll be fine. They're supposed to win by 2.5. Over under is 48. So that's who I'm rocking with. Got 7 minutes, guys.
Okay.
Tua's big game ready, baby.
All right.
So let's get 'em.
Bills at Cardinals.
I'm going to take Buffalo in this game. Arizona's defense has showed me absolutely nothing. Kyler Murray and D-Hop are playing really good, but the Bills collectively as a team are playing way better. They just lost to Miami. Buffalo's a better team than the Dolphins. I'm taking the Bills.
Bills on me as well. Got the Bills.
Bills. This is a good matchup anyway, so Bills for me.
I'm taking the Cardinals.
Okay. Oddball, okay. All right, Broncos at the Raiders at home.
Oh, we're taking Vegas.
Hey, all that.
Denver has nothing.
Nothing, man. I'm going, the Falcons. I'm going with the Raiders, man. The Raiders.
The Raiders.
Las Vegas Raiders. Okay, I'm going with the Raiders.
Raiders.
Trap game
Raiders,
alert. Trap
by
game
5.
alert.
The point or the over under is 51.5.
Trap game alert. Next game, trap game alert.
All right, Bengals at Steelers at home. Steelers at home.
Oh, yeah. For your boy, Def Sound Drip Music Group LLC, talking about Pittsburgh, we 8-0. You 8-1. I'm taking the Cincinnati Bengals and Joe Burrow.
I'm going Steelers. I'm
So
going
much
Steelers,
faith in
baby.
him.
Let's go, Mike Tomlin. Keep the streak going.
I'm
One more
gonna go
week.
with the
Joe
Steelers.
Beasy.
I'm going to go with Steelers.
All these close games, Joe Burrow's been playing lights out. I'm taking the Bengals.
Shoot, okay.
I'm rocking with the Steelers also. They didn't have a line on that game as well earlier today.
Okay.
All
All
right.
right. 49ers at the Saints.
Saints,
Upset.
49ers are trash.
Nope.
Saints, okay.
Kyle Shanahan knows how to beat the Saints. 49ers upset the Saints. Saints came off a huge win this week. They're still riding that high. They're going to go into Atlanta in 2 weeks with a losing streak. 49ers over the Saints.
Okay.
Shitty hand, pull it off, shitty hand.
Saints are at home.
Shitty hand, pull it off.
I'm going to say the Saints. I mean, like I said, they've been playing good, pretty good these last couple of games. So.
I'm taking the Saints. They're supposed to win by 9.5. I'm scratching my head on that little piece, and the over-under is 50.
Okay. Shit. All right. Seahawks at Rams. Rams at home.
Seahawks, Russell keeps it going Wilson.
I'm gonna take the Rams in this game. The Rams are at home. The Rams are very sometimey. I think this week is one of their sometimes.
Sometime.
They are.
I'm gonna go with the Seahawks.
Kind of torn with this game here.
Torn in between.
They got the Rams by 1.5, but I think I like the Seahawks to pull it out. They didn't have an over/under for this one.
Okay.
Okay, we got everybody got their answer. Okay. Ravens at Patriots.
Baltimore Ravens. Lamar Jackson
Baltimore.
called out the OC this week. They squeaked out one this week. They got a winning streak going into New England. I'm going with Baltimore. They hadn't figured it out in New England yet.
I'm gonna take New England for the pride game upset.
Of course.
There is no analysis that says they should win the game. Think they just gonna come out off of pure pride. The defense will play like they're supposed to, like what we thought they actually were. And knowing what the hell Lamar is getting ready to do, Cam, knowing that his job is on the line, I'm taking the Pats.
Mike Bell, can we get a star by this night that Feez went fandom instead of facts? He went fandom instead of facts on that. My boy, go ahead, boy.
Okay. Well, I have the Ravens.
I said it's a pride
I
game.
know, hey, that's that fandom. You never go fandom, baby. You went fandom today. I like that. Go ahead.
They got the Ravens by 7. Over and under is 43.5. It's a tough pick for me, man. But I'm gonna rock with Lamar.
All right, Lamar Jackson. All right. Last but not least, Vikings at Bears. Bears at home.
Bears.
I like Minnesota.
Why y'all sound?
Dalvin Cook is gonna keep cooking. What he's been doing, Dalvin Cook could be in the MVP conversation if the Vikings' record wasn't so bad. They were in the playoff hunt. He'd definitely be one of the top 3 or 4 players in the MVP race. But since they're not, he can get Offensive Player of the Year just for that reason. I think Dalvin can beat the Bears by himself. Until you saying I made a fandom pick, I picked the Bills to beat us. I don't just pick us, but I think we'll beat Baltimore.
I'm going Bears.
I'm going with the Vikings. Like I said, Dalvin Cook. I mean, when he healthy, he unstoppable. So I'm gonna go with the Vikings.
I like the Bears in this game. They're at home. The Vikings are favored by 2.5. The over/under is 45.
Mike Bell chose what I chose. We're losing.
Oh, wow. Okay.
There it is.
All right. Well, we
The
got
Purple
our picks.
People Eaters is gonna take them.
Yeah. So, hey, man, you got our picks for the week. How do you match up against the Petty Sports Group? It's your boy, DB. Thank you guys for hanging in there for the 2 hours with us, man. Let us know, man. Stop being afraid to tag us in your picks, man. Put them on Facebook. Tag us. Go to our Petty Sports
Share,
page
like, post.
and say what you do. We won't hit on this Monday night quarterback and shit like I had so-and-so and so-and-so. Put it in writing. Let's see what you got. Holla at your boy. It's your boy, DB. Petty Sports. We're out. We'll see you next Wednesday.
All right.
Yes, sir. Y'all know what it is. It's your boy, FamousFeez. That's how I give it to you every single week. Always hitting on them. I was 11-3 last week on the straight picks, 8-6 against the spread. This week might be a clean sweep. I don't generally miss like that. And none of you really got the nuts to call in and actually try me on it. We give you the Petty Sports line every week. Call in by all means if you really feel like that's what you want. But until you do, I got this thing. Just tune in, listen to me, make your bets off my picks, keep getting paid. Hit the Cash App. It's FamousFeez. Same as the YouTube, the Facebook, the Twitter, all of it. FamousFeez, baby. We out.
Okay, it's your girl Lele signing out. And don't forget to follow me on Instagram, Alaygra Wells_24. Boom.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in tonight. We greatly appreciate it. My picks from last week, with the spread, I was 8-6, and straight up, I was 11-3. So, but with your boy, I got a little something going on over here too. You know what I mean? Yeah.
y'all
King
so
Broadcast,
man.
and we greatly appreciate it. Thanks to Petty, man. Thanks to you out there for tuning in. Next week, hey, same bad time, same bad place, 8 o'clock right here. YouTube, check us out. ATL, ho.
Yes, sir.